Hey there, Princeps here. So here's the raw deal on Poly186 and P3. My pride and headaches. We've been quiet. Like, are they still even alive? Quiet. Here's why. I bit off more than I could chew, and both these ventures kinda hit a wall. But plot twist, focusing on just one thing turned our luck around. So stick around. I'm going to spill the tea on this whole mess and our bounce back plan. So the whole story, no BS. Back in 2022, there I was thinking I'm some kind of superhero juggling both Poly186 and P3. And Poly186 was a wild ride into the blockchain, virtual reality, financial tools, a jack of all trades but master of none. P3 was our shot at mixing urban planning with virtual reality, calling it blah. Yeah, bringing love and hope. Cheeky, right? But that was the vibe. So sounds cool, right? Except we didn't launch a damn thing. So where it went sideways. I'm not gonna lie or blame my kick-ass team. This mess was all on me. I tried to chase every shining thing and ended up catching nothing. Zilch, nada. The real kicker, I totally snoozed on building a personal brand. That's like your secret sauce in the digital world, and I was napping on it. But light bulb moment in 2023, zooming in on what matters actually started turning things around. Go figure, focusing works, right? And what I'm referring to here, this is actually not part of the script, but what I'm referring to here is my current company in Egypt called Mali Homes. More of that later. If you want to know about it, let me know in the snip. So, like, the thing below. So the new game plan, right? Let's get digital, like digital. So here's the comeback strategy: automate the hell out of my personal brand so I can dive back into cool shit without drowning in social media. I'm talking about AI wizards running the show behind the scenes. What essentially I'm saying here, because obviously I have a script. Otherwise, I'll like go off the rails like I'm about to. But what I'm essentially saying here is that I'm going to focus on building my personal brand before I build any of my company brands because my company brands are essentially extensions of myself. They are I give them life. I define them. I give them their purpose. I give them their names. I put my money and time and energy and even get other people to work on them. So fundamentally, they are an extension of myself. But something that I had forgotten about was that I am the one who does that. I am the one who creates these companies, and thus I am not beholden to them. They're beholden to me. You see, one of the things about learning that I should build a personal brand was the understanding that I have to personally brand myself. Funny story. My little brother is 15, so he's still in high school, right? So he comes home one day and I'm like, yeah, him and we're learning about this like personal brand thing, right? And so he comes home and he's like, hey, I tell him, I'm like, yo, I just realized that I was trying to like write this personal brand, the goals, the vision, all that, but I was writing it from the perspective of Poly186. Like I was running a personal brand, but I didn't even realize that it's a personal brand. I was still writing it like I am Poly186. That's how deep and invested and like I was in these companies. I wasn't myself. I wasn't Princeps. I wasn't Polycap. I was Poly186. And so every single time I thought about these things, I thought about it from the perspective of my company, which looking back at it, and the ironic thing was that this is a personal brand. And I think fundamentally, some of the states that these companies ended up in was because I didn't understand who I was, what I wanted, and how I wanted to take things forward. I should have built a personal brand. It's not that I'm not charismatic or smart enough or capable enough to walk you through some of my ideas. Maybe in the past I didn't have the confidence nor the experience to be able to sit here, stand here, right here, and just talk to you about what I'm building, what I'm working on, the skills that I've gathered so far, how I'm able to travel the world and like go to these other places and build companies. I built a company in Egypt. I don't know Arabic. Egypt speaks majority Arabic. How did I do that? Like that's a really good story. That's a really good experience that I think you can also learn from. So back to the script, so I don't go over I don't go over the script a little too much. But I'm all in on keeping the dream machine running and bringing you along the ride for the inside scoop on automating your way to a badass personal brand. Essentially, what I'm saying is that I am working on a project, and this will be in the next video where I describe what this project is in a lot more detail. Essentially, what the project is, I'm going to use AI agents to be able to automate the workflows of building my personal brand. This includes things like this, right? This fundamentally, the script itself started as me rambling to myself in a voice note, and then I had an AI transcribe my rambles, and then I had another AI refine it into this script. Partly, the script is good to keep me focused, but I also kind of see it as it's limiting in its ability to be able to allow me to express myself. But with that being said, I think that the scripts do allow me to have phrases and parts in which I can be able to expand on when it doesn't make sense to, when the script doesn't make sense, right? So that you can be able to make sense of it with me, right? So the next video, probably, as you know, I'm getting probably into the closing section of my script, right, is going to be about what is this new project. Like, as much as I have tabled and paused Poly186 and P3, I still work on cool things. I mean, fundamentally, it's just what I like to do. If I don't do that, I would be dead. I think it is just one of those things that you do without even thinking about, like breathing, right? Did you think about breathing until I mentioned it to you right now? I mean, some of you guys who are way more enlightened than I am probably were already thinking about the in breath, out breath, and that kind of thing, right? But to be present, to be aware, to be in focus and in the moment as you are and as I am in this moment takes practice. And part of that, I don't even know where I got into that. I totally lost the plot on that, to be honest with you. But let me just go through the script and then we'll kind of bring it back together, I think. So closing time here, right? Shout out to the troopers from Poly186 and P3 roller coaster. What I essentially wanted to explain here, not only did I want to explain that I am sort of pausing working on these companies to work on my own personal brand, it is also the fact that I want to thank everybody who believed in me, has been believing in me, and continuously believes in me. Like, I'm so thankful for everybody who hits me up and says, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Is Poly186 and P3 still a thing?" They're still a thing, but for them to grow into their next level, I have to work on myself. I have to work on my personal brand because I am the limiting factor. So as much as I can work with you guys to build these things and to like put products out and do all this, I will still be limiting you because I will still be limiting you and the companies and their brands because I don't have my own brand. Because fundamentally, as much as I have all these good ideas and I can build them, terraforming the desert is highly complicated. You layer on top of terraforming the desert the understanding that my whole life goal is to automate the production and distribution of basic needs. The level of experience, the level and ability of being able to coordinate millions of people to get them to be able to do that is so complicated. And I am only 27 by the time I'm making this, right? I don't have those experiences. I haven't built a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company yet to be able to understand the intricacies of supply chain, of production and distribution. And yeah, so I would just limit myself and everybody else who we work on this, and we'd end up failing because I haven't gone through the experiences to be able to learn how to do these things properly. But that doesn't go without saying I am so thankful for everybody who's believed in me, for everybody who has spent their time, their effort, their energy for the past 10 years with me. You understand, I started this idea at 17. It was actually earlier than 17 because at 16 I went to Japan and I came back with the idea of terraforming the Sahara Desert. So for the past 10 years for me, it has been to figure out how to do this. And that takes time. I mean, it's a complicated, lifelong thing. And as much as I want to rush it and as much as I want to make millions of dollars and like be successful, I forgot to fall in love with the process. And part of me focusing on like myself and focusing on what I can create and how me focusing on myself can be able to result in something useful for you, which is an automated system that can help you build your own personal brand or the personal brand of somebody else who can hire you to use my system that I'm creating. That's gonna be very beneficial because it is because of my personal brand that I can be able to then attract the investors and attract all the different things that I need to be able to have to be able to accomplish this, right? And so this section is mostly to say thank you. Thank you for your time, your effort, your belief, your faith in me. I know I've been quiet for quite some time. I know that I haven't been this for you. Maybe I've been this for you in person, in meetings, when you interact with me. But I don't interact with that many people anymore. Fundamentally, the way my days are structured, I barely talk to people most of the times. And I know that some people are actually laughing about this because it's a recurring joke if you've been talking to me for the for the past like year. I spend a lot more time with AI and AI agents and working with them to build things. That means that I don't have time to interact with you. It's not that I don't, it's just that I need to get us to the next level. And for me to be able to do that, I need to be efficient. I need to work smart, work intelligently, and work efficiently. That doesn't mean that you and I can't work efficiently together. It just means that this is how I found out the best way for me to be able to improve myself and build something that you can use while also getting the brand and everything else that I have been working on and we've worked on together to a level where it can sustain both of us on top of it, right? Think of it this way. Poly186 and P3 were ships that we were building as we were sailing, and they sunk. They didn't sink completely, but they were on the way of sinking. And so we stopped the ship and building the ship, and we stopped like doing this whole like MacGyvering thing where we're building the ship as we go. And I said, hey, we're gonna park these ships at this port, the personal brand port, and I'm gonna work on them. I'm gonna build these ships until they are good enough, amazing enough, perfect enough to be able to support you, me, and everybody else who's gonna help us automate the production and distribution of basic needs while terraforming the Sahara Desert. Because it's always about that, man. You know, I'm never gonna go. all right. So, so we're hitting pause, but not stop. There's a ton more coming, and I'm pumped to have you ride shotgun. Drop your 2 cents below. Like, let's brew on some magic together. Remember, the dream big, but with your eyes on the prize. Peace out. Till next time. At least that's the end of the script. Off script print caps here. I think I'm gonna start doing these more. With this video, what I really want to communicate to you is that I am pausing. And for those who have been in Poly186 and P3, P3 stands for Print Caps Polycap Productions, because that was a company that I built to produce things that didn't fit to the brand of Poly186. Because Poly186's brand is about automating the production and distribution of basic needs, which is highly specific. Now, for everything else that I still wanted to do, because fundamentally I'm a creator. I like to create. I'm not a quote unquote social media influencer creator. Maybe now I'll become that, but I think I'll become that with my own twist. The whole goal is that I communicate with you what I have been doing so that you can not only learn from it, but you can also be part of it, right? Because to automate the production and distribution of basic needs, as much as it is automating and I can use robots for that, it is not going to be successful if I don't integrate humans into it. Because as much as I have this vision, I need to be able to have other people engage with me on it to refine it, to improve it so that it fits the people who it's supposed to help, humans. So if I kind of build this out there with AIs on my own, and then it ends up being not what humans technically need, A, it can fail, or B, it can hurt other people. So there's an aspect of that which I have to bring people into. But for all that to come to fruition, I have to take a step back and understand who I am, what am I trying to build, what can I use my skills for, and how can I go from here to that next level, right? And that's what this video is about. It's about not only giving you an update of where Poly186 and P3 is, for those who don't know, for those who haven't been in Poly186 and P3, probably actually most of you also don't even know what Poly186 and P3 was doing, because I was terrible at communicating, because I wasn't here talking to you, and you would only hear about these things when you meet me. And even then it was in passing, because for a very long time, I feel like 4 years, I just stopped talking about it to my friends and my family, because I just had been talking for 5 years before that, right? About terraforming deserts and these crazy ideas, right? And now where things have gotten to, it is the idea that I want to be able to evolve these into their own thing. But first, I must understand myself. There's a Rumi quote I am totally forgetting right here, but I know there's a Rumi quote about this exactly. Maybe I'll add it to the comment section or the description below if I remember. What the other thing I want to do is make it easy for me to make these videos. So you can see that I'm not doing a lot of editing. there's no even intro. There's not an intro on this. It's just because I want to make it easy for me to just talk to you and update you. If you do meet me on like Zoom or Teams, or if you've talked to me virtually, you do know that I do like to talk a lot. So why can't I be able to just talk to you directly through this? This will also update you on what I'm doing, which will also teach you. The next part of this video was actually to thank everybody who worked in Poly186 and P3 with me. Um, I think at the height of it, I had more than 50 people working on just one part of these projects. And that was a lot of people. And that was the first time ever in my life where I had to like sort of kind of think and organize 50 plus people. And because I had never done that before, the systems and the processes and the businesses weren't structured to be able to work with that many people. And so, because of that, I also had to take a step back and make sure that these businesses eventually, when they do get to a level where they have so many people working within them, that they have the proper systems, the proper processes, everything is defined clearly, and the objectives are like clear and defined so that people aren't doing things the wrong way. And I always kind of I remember this. I don't know where I heard it, but a company is a reflection of the culture and the leaders of that company. And because of how the leadership I was led to the companies not having a concrete focus and honing in on what they truly are about, which means that it was more likely that they would fail because I didn't know how success looked like for me in those companies. Thus, I have to understand that for myself first. The last thing that is sort of kind of buried in this script is the next phase. And the next phase, as I've mentioned in this video and in the previous one, and as I will mention in the next one, is that I'm going to be working on my personal brand. And the way I'm going to do it is in a lazy engineering approach where I'm going to use agents and AIs to basically automate the posting of my content on social media. The reason why that is, and I'm going to pause there first, and I'm going to address this because this is probably a thought that somebody's having while watching this video, which is that my agents are not just going to generate bullshit and put it on the internet. That's not something that the internet needs more of. I think there's enough of that on here already. But it is that they will generate my content using my tone to my audience, updates, me being able to communicate with you what I'm doing. But most especially, and I think this is a buried lead in all that I'm really trying to say here, is that I want you to come and learn how to build your own personal brand. Why is it important? Why did this guy who didn't have an Instagram for like 4 or 5 years now decide to create one? That was I definitely had to give up on that belief because it's very important that I have a personal brand. And so I had to kind of, you know, basically compare the belief of whether I shouldn't be on Instagram versus I should be on Instagram, but I should focus on sharing content on Instagram that helps people learn. So fundamentally, it is that I'm going to take all that I'm learning, I'm going to take all that I've done and all the experiences that I'm having and I'm going to have, and package it in a way that allows you to learn from me and from this journey. So by the end of it, you will also be able to automate your own personal brand. You'll be able to understand the value of a personal brand. You'll be able to actually be able to also understand what I'm working on and how that ties into my personal brand. But most especially, it's to learn. What I want to transition my content, my social media, away from is from being a lifestyle thing that I was doing. Like if you see my videos, they're more of lifestyle videos. They don't have like a point to them. They're sort of entertaining, sort of me like just rambling and updating people. But I never really got it until like recently. Shout out to Dan Coe and Alex Omozi. Check them out if you haven't. Art of Focus is a pretty good book. But basically, it is that I almost bit myself. Jesus, I need to relax. So I'm gonna stop here and just say thank you for watching this far. This is how typically I just talk and think. Scripts help me refine, slow down, and be more present with you. So, with that being said, I think I should wrap this up so I can go to the gym. But my goal is to transition from a lifestyle brand to a learning brand where I can teach you how to automate your personal brand, first of all, but also come along with me on the lessons that I learn towards this larger goal, right? I'm guessing that your goal in life isn't to automate the production and distribution of basic needs or terraform an entire desert. If it is, hey bro, maybe we should work together, or hey girl, maybe we should work together. You know, make it a lot easier for both of us. But in those large goals, I have to learn so much things. And because of that, I want to bring you along the ride. I actually have been influenced a lot by Alex Hormozy on this because Alex Hormozy, his thing is like he wants to be able to document his journey to $1 billion, right? Um, I like that, right? And I'm glad that I have those kinds of people who I can study and understand and learn from. And so as them are to me, I want to be something like that similar for you, right? Somebody who you can relate to because of how you think and the sort of temperament that we share. So I'm gonna finish off here with remember, dream big, with your eyes open on the prize. Um, Peace out. Till next time. Print caps. How was that? Was that good? I guess you let me know in the comment section below. I hear when YouTubers do that. Like, DJ Peach Cobbler. Last tangent. There's a YouTuber called DJ Peach Cobbler. He made a video which was kind of funny, which was like, um, he doesn't like when YouTubers say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and like comment below. Like, and his whole reasoning is because before you tell me to do any of the myriad of things that I already know that I should do, why don't you entertain me? Why don't you like teach me something so that I feel without you having to coerce me into it that I should do something back for you and reciprocate the value you have given me. So you can see that I've had this awkward relationship with saying subscribe, like, comment below. Don't. If you don't find value in the videos I make, don't do that because that will force me to make sure I can give you value. Like I don't want you to just do it because you feel like you should do it because you feel pity. Yeah, don't do that shit out of pity. Do it because I gave you value, and because I don't get likes on these videos, it forces me to think, hey, maybe I should get better at this, at teaching them, educating you, and making sure that you get some value out of this. Because the way you can only give me value back, obviously, there's a lot of different ways, but one of them is like, yeah, like, subscribe, or do all those other YouTube things. So one of the things that I don't do in any of my videos, in any of my scripts, and I won't continue doing is saying subscribe. Don't subscribe if you don't feel like this is valuable to you. Don't like it if you don't feel like this is valuable for you. And if it is valuable for you, do whatever you feel that is good to help this continue going forward. With that being said, don't forget to stay healthy, drink some water, go to the gym, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye bye.